Welcome to the first arrondissement. This is the historic heart of Paris, as well as its literal heart, as it can be found right in the center of Paris. It occupies lots of the Rive Droite, which is the right bank of the Seine, as well as part of Ile de la Cité. Some of the most famous attractions here include the Jardin Tuileries, the Louvre and Palais-Royal. And today we're going to show you all of these things, as well as some hidden gems and some top tips. So let's go and explore. One of the most important places to check out in the first arrondissement is the Louvre, which is now the largest art museum in the world and is home to gems such as the Mona Lisa and the Winged Angel of Samothrace. It wasn't always a museum and actually was constructed for the first time in 1190 as a medieval fortress under the reign of Louis-Philippe Auguste. Today you can see these remains in the basement. During the 14th century it was transformed into a royal residence, and it wasn't until the 19th century that it was turned into the art museum that you see today. Although you can't really put a price on art, it's estimated that the contents of the Louvre are worth over $45 billion, and it would take over 100 days to see everything within its galleries. The central glass pyramid now acts as the entrance to the Louvre and was completed in 1989. Much like other modern attractions in Paris, when it was first completed, it was met with a lot of criticism and lots of people said that they didn't really like it. Today, it's become one of the most important landmarks in central Paris. I think a lot of people don't realize this, but there are actually several triumphal arches in Paris, as well as the main Arc de Triomphe, which is up in the 8th arrondissement. There's the Arc de Triomphe du Carrousel, which is currently unfortunately under renovation, but is very beautiful and is right next to the Louvre. One of the most convenient aspects of visiting the Louvre is that it leads right onto one of the best gardens in Paris, which is the Jardin de Tuileries. The gardens are so called because they were the gardens of the Tuileries Palace that was constructed during the 16th century. Today, they're one of the best places to hang out in Paris. You can sit on one of the iconic green chairs and have a picnic, admire all of the plants, and in the summer months and winter months, there are fairs, including a Christmas fair and a summer fete where you can go on lots of rides. The gardens are also home to the Orangery, which is where Claude Monet's famous Nymphaea water lily paintings are located. This part of the gardens usually gives an amazing view onto Place de la Concorde and the Eiffel Tower in the distance. Now, this was actually first called Place de la Révolution because this is where lots of the guillotining of royals and other upper nobles took place during the French Revolution. Today, it's home to a museum, the Cleopatra Needle, and at the moment, as you can see, it's in a bit of construction because it's going to be used as a skateboard park during the Paris Olympics. And now, if we head back down along Rue de Rivoli, which runs alongside the Jardin des Tuileries, we'll get to another of the iconic gardens of Paris. Smith & Son can be found alongside this road and is one of the most popular Anglophone bookstores here in Paris. And if it happens to be raining during your time in Paris, then these covered passages are quite useful. Galignani is another bookshop on this road. It's actually the oldest Anglophone bookshop in France. Palais-Royal was originally called Palais Cardinal because it was commissioned by Cardinal Richelieu from the Three Musketeers in the 17th century. It was then given to Louis XIII when it became Palais-Royal. Now it's owned by the French state and is administrative buildings, but the accompanying gardens are really beautiful. They're free to visit. There's lots of chairs that you can sit in, and it's just a really lovely quiet space in the heart of the city where you kind of forget you're surrounded by millions of people. If you come anytime from March onwards, you're pretty much guaranteed to see some beautiful flowers. There's magnolia, followed by cherry blossoms, followed by the roses, and then other flowers throughout the year. Another aspect of the gardens, which is rather lovely, is all of the terrace-side cafes in the corner in the northwest. There are lots of little arcades where you can sit, have a drink, and even have dinner, because one of the most expensive cafes in Paris is just down at the bottom. The colonnes de Buren were installed in the 1980s, and pretty much like everything new around here, everyone hated them when they were first installed. Today, they're one of the most Instagrammable and popular spots to visit in this area. And talking about popular places to visit here in this area, if we go out the door, out the back there, then we'll get to another place which you may well recognize. This is Place de Valois, and in Emily in Paris, this area doubles as Emily's office. And if we head out this entrance, then we'll get to our next destination, which is Gallery Vero Daudet. The covered passages of Paris are the precursor to modern-day shopping malls and largely date back to the beginning of the 19th century. Once upon a time, there were over 150 of these, although today only 2 dozen remain. They're largely in the 2nd and 9th arrondissements, but this particular one can be found here in the 1st. And talking about shopping opportunities, we're now heading into one of the main shopping areas of Paris, and that is Châtelet-Les-Halles. There are lots of big shops here, big brands. It's more modern than the other passage that we've just seen, but definitely more busy. Église Saint-Eustache is the 2nd largest church in Paris after Notre Dame, and it's recently been restored. It's completely free to visit, so let's go and check out the inside. The name of this bridge is Pont Neuf, which translates into English as New Bridge. And despite this name, it's actually the oldest bridge in Paris still standing, as it dates all the way back to the 16th century. It's also home to one of my favorite parks in Paris. Square du Vert Galant was sold from the French state to the city of Paris in 1884 for the grand total of £1, and is now a lovely park where you can hang out. It's completely free to visit, and it's really great to have picnics here. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more France travel content. See you next time.